So chapter 3, homework due tomorrow. Okay. Today, guys, we're going to look at, you're looking at a business, looking at marketing. Okay. Now, this is something that I have quite a bit of background with since my first degree in college was in marketing. Okay. So when we talk about starting a business, the approach to marketing is really along several different lines. Okay. So you're going to look at how you package your products, how you market your products, who you market your products to, pricing, how you price your products, these sorts of things. Now, some of this stuff will be relevant to you in your business idea, and some of it won't be relevant to you. Okay, so you kind of just pick and choose what is functioning for you on this sort of thing. Okay, so I'll post this on Canvas so that you can go back and look at it if you want to. Okay, so first thing, and we did a little bit this the other day when we were looking at our business plan. Now, did anybody not get a new copy of this one that wasn't upside down or anything? That first one I gave was kind of shoddy. Okay, so when we talked about defining your target customer, your target market, okay, so a specific group of consumers at which company aims its products and services. Your target customer are those who are most likely to buy from you or use your service, okay? So you try to describe them with as much detail as you can based on the knowledge of your product and service, okay? And so these are all on that sheet that I gave you with the plan, the business plan, okay? And so these are the different things that you're looking at. For some of you, it'll be everybody on here. Now, obviously, there's different things with like values and attitude of the people that you're approaching. Okay, and some of you, these may be very specific. Your customer base will be very specific. Okay, so you want to narrow that down. Okay, because then you can start to study. Hey, what is this person like? Who are my consumers? What are they like? How do I frame my messaging for them specifically? Okay, so the more you know about your target customer, the better off, the better ability to target them. Okay, so those are things you look at there. Okay, so when you start to narrow that down, you can create a profile. Okay, so using the list above, okay. Draw a profile of most promising potential customers, those who have a real need or desire for your products or services. Okay, for instance, a maternity store specializing in professional wear, for example, might identify their target customers: women 20 to 40-year-old pregnant, married women in the legal, financial, and real estate industries within a 10-mile radius of your store. Okay, now, I mean, if maternity stores, there's not a lot of them. So, I mean, your range could go outside of that 10-mile limit for sure. So if you're in Wichita, you could try and target people, you know, in Colwich or, you know, some of the small towns around, you know, around Wichita, so that they know that you exist, okay? So be specific in looking at your target. The more carefully you've defined your target market, the more likely your marketing efforts, even simple, low-cost methods, will bear fruit. Yeah, because you don't want to spend time and money on something that's not going to work for you. So the more specific you can be about who's going to buy or use my product, okay, is super important. Because you don't want to be inefficient. You want to be efficient. You want to put your dollars to work for you in the best possible way, and your time. Time is money. So if you're wasting time on people that aren't going to buy from you, you're wasting money, okay? Anytime you run a business, you've got to be efficient, okay? So marketing, okay, is the management process through which goods and services move from a concept to the customer. So including coordination of 4 elements or the 4 P's of marketing, all right? So if you go to business school, guys, this is a class you'll take. I took marketing classes. I took marketing management classes, okay, in business school. Okay, even if you study finance, you're going to take classes like this, okay, because it's good to have a well-rounded view of the whole business model, okay. So your 4 Ps include the product, okay, identification, selection, development of that product, the price, okay. So that's going to be a lot affected on, you know, your cost to produce the labor or the cost to produce the product, okay. So the place, selection of distribution channel to reach the customers, okay, that can include things from inventory, having a warehouse for your products, where you're going to store these products while they're waiting to be sold, okay, and there's a whole science to this. You talk about the most efficient ways to use inventory, okay? And one of the most efficient ways is what's called JIT, just in time. You don't want your inventory sitting there for months on months at a time, especially if you're paying rent for a warehouse or something like that. You want your inventory to be there just in time to go to the customer, okay? The longer it sits, more wasteful, okay? And then promotion, a lot of times that's what we think about when we think about marketing, is the promotion, development and implementation of promoting your product, okay, which is a key part of marketing, especially in the internet age today, okay, and finding those different methods will be important, okay. So we start with P, the product, okay. So the product strategy deals with goods or services your business will provide. How will you identify your product and make it stand out from the competition? Okay, and that can be done in a lot of different ways. It could be quality, could be price, okay, it could be, you know, just the way people feel about your product or your service. They feel, you know, how it makes them feel. Okay, so product features or benefits offers to customers, okay? They include style, distinctive characteristics, color, quality, and options, warranties, service contracts, delivery, installation, instruction. I'm that guy that I don't want to put it together. You know what I mean? Like, I go buy a new grill, I want the one on the floor that's already assembled, you know, or you're buying a bicycle for your kid. I want the one that's already assembled. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Because I'm not even going to look at the instructions. I'm just trying to put this together, right? If there's any parts left over, what have you, okay? So, I mean, there's a lot of different factors in here that would make somebody choose your service or product over somebody else's, okay? And sometimes it's a little thing like that, okay? It's delivered, it's installed. So, look, I just bought a TV for Christmas for myself, okay? And I got a 50-inch 4K TV. Okay, went up from a 46-inch. Had to talk my wife into that over years, okay? And we didn't want a smart TV because we want to do what you're talking about, you know, putting together, getting rid of cable and got the smart TV, right? So I bought my TV from Hefner. Have you guys heard of Hefner TV? Okay, raise your hand if you heard of Hefner. Yeah, okay, so locally owned. It's not Best Buy. The Hefners used to live in my neighborhood. Okay, and my next door neighbor is good friends with the Hefners. And you know what they do? When you buy a TV from them, you go in, I went in, and I had a lot of questions about the different, because there are different prices on these 50 inchers, right? And what's better about this? I got all the information I wanted, and then they delivered it. I didn't have to put it in my truck, and then they installed it. So they took down my old TV that's up on a bracket and unhooked it, and then put the new one on, showed me how to use the new remote and everything. It was all included in the service. That's great. You know what I mean? Have you guys ever installed a TV up on one of those things? Kind of a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? So did I pay more? Yeah. Are the Hefners a local family and they're making a good living selling TVs and repairing TVs? I'm shopping local. You know what I mean? Now the TV was made in China. Okay, but nonetheless, that is something that really allows them to stay in business. You don't see that a lot. You know, locally owned TV stores like that. Okay, so all right, flexible payment options, of course, this sort of thing. Layaway, installment, special offers, 0 down. Okay, I think you got to be careful there. Okay, brand. Okay, a brand is the name, symbol, design used to identify your product. Okay, so this, like for the eyelash thing, right? I mean, this is so much of your business, not just the quality, but this is really what's going to set you apart. Is just the labeling. You know what I mean? And what it looks like. And oh, I like the look of that. I'm going to buy it. Okay. So this is really big for people. Okay. Especially with small businesses and competitive markets. What sets you, above the others? Okay. The packaging. Okay, is the physical container, the wrapper or wrapper that holds it in. If you have that, okay. Obviously, that's something that's going to. There's be a cost factor, a brand factor. That's going to be, part of it. You look at these different things on the store shelves, the way they're packaged can, somebody's going to choose between 2 or 3 different kinds, and this could play a role in it, okay? The label, again, part of the package to present information, okay? What are the aesthetics of that label? What does it look like? Okay, obviously you want to have, people, there are talented people out there that are great artists, okay? Guys, I ran a small business, a publishing company, and where my business failed was sales. Okay, I was not a very good salesperson. I was 22 years old. Okay, and I didn't know how to talk to people like I know how to talk to people now. So if I was doing that job today, running that business today, I know it would be much more successful. Okay, but it's just not something that I want to do. But so in order to save money, I learned how to do things like graphic arts, okay, to design things on a computer. Now, you guys are familiar with like logos, right? I've got all these stickers up here, okay? So somebody designed this Air Force logo, right? Okay, they paid somebody a lot of money to do that. You guys know Jack Stuckey? His dad runs like an advertising agency, okay? And they design logos and that sort of thing, and they have some very talented people. I've seen a lot of their work. You've seen like the 316 baseball, right? That logo, that was done by Stuckey's dad. Okay, so they take stuff like that and create a brand for you. These advertising agencies like that, okay, that are really good. And I figured out, because I did that sort of thing. I would make logos and that sort of thing. And here, I'll show you one I did for a friend. Okay, he used to run a college baseball summer league. Now the league is still around. What happened to my computer? Let me pull this up. Kansas. That's Kansas Collegiate Baseball. What's wrong?
Oh, no, we're talking about that.
Yeah. So you see, this is the state of Kansas. Okay. Now, what does that logo look like? It looks like the Major League Baseball logo, but it's not. Okay. Now, I don't know if we get hit with copyright on this, but when my buddy ran this league, he's like, "Hey, I need to design a logo for our league." And this is not the first logo I designed for him, because he used to run a indoor arena football team in Enid, Oklahoma. Okay, and they were the Drillers, and so I designed the logo for the professional football team. Now, since he was a friend of mine, I didn't charge him anything for this, but they're still using this logo. Okay, so that's their brand. Okay, so that's kind of that's what they put out there. Okay, it's kind of a cool logo. They're doing well, that league. They got like 8 teams in it. And, kids come in from all over the country to play baseball in the summertime. Live with host families. These are college players, that sort of thing. Okay. So yeah, this stuff right here, this packaging, this labeling, the branding, okay, can play a big role. Okay, and then product positioning. And if you ever go into like Dillon's, okay, this is key. All right. So where refers to how customers see your product compared to the competition. Now, if you go around Dillon's, you'll notice that at the end of a row of an aisle, they'll have like that's what I'm looking for. Cap? End cap?
Okay.
Yeah, like yeah. Or and then they have things kind of sticking off the wall, right? Or off the aisle that's kind of sticking out up on a thing. Okay, so you pay for that product positioning, okay? And hopefully that helps you stand out against your competition, or maybe they see your product and not the competition. And then product mix refers to all the products the company makes or sells. If you're going to offer multiple products, just think about how they relate to each other. Okay. And I don't know if anybody's doing that, but okay, so 4 P's: product, packaging, okay, containers, wrapping materials used to protect, contain, identify, promote, facilitate the use of the product, okay. Information tag, wrapper, seal, attachment to the product or the product's package. It presents information, brand name, ingredients, instructions, machine washable, how to open or dispose, guarantees with the product, and of course, danger warnings, okay, which, yeah, you have to put on just about everything these days, right? Because people are stupid and, don't eat the chlorine. Okay, don't drink the chlorine. I did that as a child in the garage, and yeah, I had to go to the hospital. Okay, so they put the label on, like the child would be. Yes, that is which one. I drank chlorine as a child. So, yeah, packaging, guys. You know, and for some of you, this is something you need to think about a lot. Okay. For others, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, but for some of you, this definitely means a lot. So, you want to spend time thinking about that. What is going to catch a person's eye and want them to buy your product? Okay, packaging continued. Types of materials. Obviously, there's going to be cost involved here. So the cheaper the packaging, the more profit you make. But at the same time, you don't want to cut yourself short. Okay, paper, cardboard. For those that are like environmentally conscious, right? So if you say my packaging is made from recycled materials, people are like, oh, well, I'm going to buy that. You know what I mean? People are like that. Okay. Cellophane, transparent paper, plastic wrap. So you want people to be able to see the product where it's clear. Glass is expensive. Plastic comes from oil. So if you're a fossil fuel hater, plastics all come from oil. That's called polypropylene. All right. And so we don't only use oil for our cars. We use it for a lot of things, including things like fertilizer. Okay. So plastic, aluminum, okay, like aluminum cans that we use for drinks and so forth. Okay, yeah, environmental concerns. Marketers must protect the customer and his or her environment from the package. Okay, so you don't want your package to hurt people. Sometimes you have packages. Yeah, I saw a funny meme the other day. You guys know the macaroni and cheese. Like whether it's the one you got to add milk or the one that's the Velveeta where you just squeeze it out of the thing, right? Okay. But there's always that thing, press in here with your thumb, right? So you can open the package, right? Like that actually works. You know what I mean? You got to to open the damn thing, right? Yeah. So, yeah, maybe if you come up with a better box. Right? Well, there's a business idea right there. Right? A better box for packaged foods. That's easy to open. Now you sell that to the, to the producers. You don't sell that to your producers or your. Anybody's welcome to borrow that if you don't have a business idea. All right. Plastic foam. in the ozone layer. Okay. Because, people, there are very environmentally conscious people here, okay? So non-biodegradable materials take up more space in our landfills. Okay, that would be your plastics and stuff that don't break down, okay? Use more recyclable products. And I think definitely that's something you want to think about. So if Tim was here and he's got the wood, the wood firewood idea, right? So, like, if you go to Dillon's and they have those little packages of firewood you can buy, they're wrapped in plastic. Okay. Now, what if his packaging, Tim? Hopefully, you're watching this. Your packaging could be used as paper that you could start the fire with. You know what I mean? Like, you could use that. Because you always need like newspaper or something to start a fire. Or those materials, Tim, I'm like helping you out here. You can buy those little things that take camping and they burn, they light real easy and they burn for a long time and they help you start a fire. Okay. What if you could make the packaging made out of that? It's like part of the deal, man. You got everything you need right here. Okay. Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're right. Well, they sell those in maybe some way to package them. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, but those are definitely considerations, guys. Okay, these environmental concerns. Okay, place. Also known as distribution strategy, involves how you will deliver your goods or services to your customer. This includes movement of your product to both your location and to your customer's location. Okay, this is logistics. Guys, being efficient, how are your goods going to be transported? And guys, we're dealing with this right now all over the country with supply chain issues because we have so many products made overseas. And when so many people are laid off or not working because they're sick, just like we have with the teacher situation here, staffing shortages and so forth, we're having trouble getting these products. Okay, for the baseball team, I order hats every year, for the players, and I got an email from my guy, and he's like, "Dude, I cannot get the custom hats in until the middle of March." I'm like, well, we've already started our season, let alone took team pictures without hats. Okay, so we went with a more basic model that they had in stock. Okay, same thing with the batting helmets. Ran into that where they didn't have the helmets in that we need. They weren't going to be in until next year. Okay, so these are factors that, now personally, guys, if you ever watch Shark Tank, they're always talking about, can you produce this item cheaper? Because the cheaper you can produce it, the bigger your profits. And so where do we look for that? We look to China. We look to Taiwan. We look to Mexico. Okay. Now, selfishly, if I was starting a business, obviously you're going to business to make money. Okay. And do something you're passionate about. But also you could, if I produce that in the United States, I'm going to create jobs for Americans. I'm going to create jobs for the people in my community. Okay. I just saw really good news. Intel, they make computers, chips, and so forth. Intel is building a chip making plant in New Albany, Ohio. Okay. It'll be the largest chip making plant in the United States and will employ 2,000 Americans. More importantly, the chips that they produce, one of the reasons why cars are so expensive as we speak, and used cars are more expensive than they've ever been, because there's a shortage of vehicles, because the chips are coming from China and we're having supply chain issues. If we can make those chips in the United States, then we run into fewer of those supply chain issues. And those 2,000 jobs that Intel is going to create, they're investing something like $20 billion in this plant. Okay. That's going to create a lot of good paying jobs for people right here in the good old USA. Okay. So I always think that's good news when you hear stuff like that. Okay. Okay. So logistics here, and then typical model, manufacturer or producer to wholesaler to retailer to consumer. Okay. Now everybody's going to be different here. Like your different business models. Okay. But if you're actually producing a product that you're going to sell, this is generally what it looks like. Okay. Every model is different. Okay. But as a business grows, that's generally what you're going to find. Okay, place continued. Location, layout, availability are important to your place strategy. Okay, this is especially important to retail. Okay, where will your product be placed so customers have access to it? Seasonal demands for your products. Okay, obviously Christmas is a big one for everybody for selling products because of gifts. And so not just, Christmas decorations, but that's a peak time of year for sales, okay? So peak production, sales. Yeah, so like if you're in the business of making Christmas decorations, so you plan your year out, you know what I mean? So when do they start putting Christmas stuff out on the shelves? Right after Thanksgiving or before Thanksgiving now? You always see this, right? The next holiday, you're like, Valentine's Day already, right? It's like December. Why are they putting this stuff out? Easter already? Okay, so you just got to plan for that. Like your whole seasonal your calendar year revolves around possibly, firewood in the summer. Not a lot of people doing that. Okay, so you got to get creative about that. Okay, how am I going to put food on the table in the summer months? This is my livelihood, okay? So you want to get people to stock up early, that sort of thing. Okay. Making the correct place decisions will have a major impact on the success of the operation of your business, okay? So where your products are placed, when they're placed, and so forth. Okay, the next P is price, okay? The value of money or its equivalent placed on a good or service, usually expressed in monetary terms. An example of a non-monetary is bartering, which is trade. Okay, so key to pricing is understanding the value that buyers place on a product, not the value you placed on the product. And that's an important way to look at this. Okay, it's not what you think it's worth; it's what the customer thinks it's worth. Okay, now, guys, I keep getting this image in my head of rich people. Okay? Rich people don't tend to worry about money very much. You know what I mean? So they're willing to spend money. So even though your product only costs you $6 to make, if it's branded right, if it's packaged right, and it gives the message to the consumer that this has a lot of value, okay, people will pay insane amounts of money for cheap crap. Okay, so if you can find that niche, and your profit margins go way up. Okay, if you select the right consumer and focus that branding towards that wealthy consumer. Okay. So, I mean, that's something that that goes through my head if we start thinking about businesses, okay? So the goals of pricing here, gaining market share when a business is trying to take business away from the competition. Okay, so you've got established companies. Can your pricing, okay, affect that? And as I was just saying, if you target the upscale customer, you follow me? You can charge more. And the upscale customer comes along and says, well, this one costs more. It must be better. So they buy it. Yes? Or you can go the opposite direction. And you can undercut your competition just to get your product used, okay? Because some people are bargain shoppers, right? So they're going to buy the cheapest one. They're all the same, right? Buy the cheaper one. Okay, so this is a really important decision you have to make when you put your product out there. Okay, market share is the percentage of total sales volume generated by competitors in a given market. Okay, and you can look this stuff up. You can research this information. Meeting the competition. Some companies price their products to meet the prices of their competition. Okay, see this with automobiles, soft drinks are examples. Okay, you know, I mean, soft drinks. You know, it's crazy, right? You go into Quick Trip and buy something like this. I think this is that is 16 fluid ounces, right? How much does it cost me a Quick Trip? $2. But I can buy a 2-liter for cheaper, right? And the whole thing is it goes flat, right? If you don't drink it real fast, you know what I mean? So this is nice. This is handy. Yeah, it's easy to carry around, and hopefully it keeps its fizz. But man, that's good marketing by Coca-Cola and these other drink makers. Okay, and then the big ones. I mean, if you're the bargain shopper, buy the 2 liters. Okay, and you suffer a little bit of loss of fizz in the end. Okay, at the end it's awful, right? Okay, so yeah, I mean, these are things that you'll have to figure out when you set your prices, and you know, a lot of thought to go into that. Pricing strategy. Factors affecting pricing include supply and demand, obviously brand loyalty, price of products relative to income, availability of substitutes, luxury versus necessity, urgency of purchase. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's going to play a role in how successful your product is at selling. Are these factors here? Your costs and expenses, the serious businesses involved in selling and distributing your product. Obviously, this is dollars and cents here, guys. You know, you've got to make a profit. Okay. Competition, price wars in certain sectors, airlines, gasoline, computers, accessories. Yeah, I mean, if you've set your prices so that you make a profit, and then a competitor comes in and puts on a sale, and they're selling, Black Friday, so forth, and they undercut you, that's going to affect. You got to pay attention to the marketplace. It's going to affect what people are buying. Okay. Now, competition is generally good for the consumer, not good for the business owner. Okay. Now, it will make you more efficient because you've got to be efficient in order to keep up with your competition. Okay. So it does have its positive impacts on business, but generally it's better for the consumer. Okay. Pricing strategy. Cost-based pricing. So how much you cost to make it, and how much profit do I want? Okay. So costs $6.50 to make a trash can. If the desired 10% profit, then you mark up 10% of the cost. That's pretty simple math there. Okay. You can go for 20%. Or you could go for 5% and undercut your competition. Depends on, where you're at with your business, okay? Demand-based pricing, attempt to determine what consumers are willing to pay for given goods and services. Importance of the consumer's perceived value is huge. That's huge, what their perception is. And that's why they talked about in some of the videos and so forth about asking people that buy these products questions. Like, why did you buy this? Okay, what made you do that? Okay, this perception is big. Okay, effective when there are few substitutes and consumers willing to pay higher prices because they believe an item is different from that offered by competition. We already kind of talked about that. Companies try to achieve this status by developing brand loyalty. And that's big if you get repeat customers. Okay, because they identify with you. Okay, and if you give them a good reason to identify with you, that makes them even more loyal. Okay, consumer demand for fashionable colors, i.e., refrigerators, opposed to the cost of producing the refrigerators, okay? So keeping up with the times, you know, I mean, how many of you guys have like a stainless steel refrigerator? We do too, okay? You know, got rid of the old white one, got the stainless steel, everybody tries to match their appliances, these sorts of things, right? Keeping up with the times, keeping up with the Joneses, right? So yeah, trends are important here, okay? And fashions, so forth. Okay, competition-based pricing, set prices based on what the competitors charge. No relationship between cost and price. You've got to sell it, okay? No relationship between demand and price. You're just going off what your competition is doing. Elect to take one of three actions using this pricing method: price above, below, or in line with your competition. That'll be a choice you will have to make, okay? What time we got? What time we get out of here? Yeah, 9 minutes. Okay. All right, this is some detailed stuff here, okay? So different types of pricing, okay? Skimming is a pricing policy that sets a very high price for a new product. So it's brand new, you're gonna throw it out there, put a high price tag on it, and hopefully it's gonna sell. And you're gonna make a lot of money, okay? Penetration pricing is the opposite. So like, all right, it's a new product, I want people to try it, so I'm gonna set a real low price on this, and once I build that brand loyalty and they're a repeat customer, I'm gonna start raising my price a little bit and make it more of a profit. So this is kind of two different ways of getting into the marketplace there, okay? Psychological pricing, who knew there was such a thing, right? Techniques that create an illusion for customers that make shopping easier for them. It's an illusion. Okay. Prestige pricing, this is kind of what I was talking about here. Set a higher than average price to suggest exclusiveness, status, right? Prestige. Your Mercedes-Benz, right? It's like, people like, that's status symbol, okay? And it doesn't have to be a Mercedes-Benz. It could be your product, okay? It just makes people feel like, these, especially the rich people, okay? Makes them feel like they're buying something that's exclusive. Okay? It's an illusion, again, okay? Consumers assume that higher prices mean higher quality, willing to pay more, okay? Multi-unit pricing. Suggest a bargain that helps to increase sales. Some businesses have found that pricing items in multiples, such as 3 for 99 cents, is better than selling the same items for 33 cents each, okay? You know when I'm at Dillon's, you know those tall skinny drinks that are water with flavored water? What are they called?
Ice.
Ice, yeah. They're $1 each. And they say 10 for $10. But that's a lot cheaper than this. And it's probably healthier. Yes? And it's got fizz. Which that's what I'm looking for, is that, you know, when you drink something, it feels good going down your throat. I like that. You know what I mean? Especially in the morning. And I love coffee. But I like when I first get up, I like to have that fizz. So I'll just throw in a couple of those dollar things when I go to Dillon. Black cherry ones.
Oh.
Black raspberry.
That was Shayla made.
Yeah, no, I like strawberry.
Or just regular lemonade flavor.
What about the peach mango one?
No, I don't do peaches and I don't do mango.
What?
Peach, I don't like.
That's like a mango.
Okay,
Those are good.
all right, let's stop there, okay? Hey, that's pretty interesting stuff, right? I mean, and like I said, some of this applies, some of it doesn't, so forth. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of struggling with that a little bit. Create an illusion for customers that make shopping easier for them, so maybe convenience. Like buying this product makes life more convenient for you.
Well, like Quick Trip,
I-
everything's more expensive at Quick Trip because it's a convenience store.
Sure.
I just say, you know, like food and stuff you need, like near the back of the store, so you have to walk through everything else.
Yeah, that's what they do with
Okay.
Like my milk in the back.
Yeah.
them.
Milk and eggs in the back?
Yeah.
Your staples?